Thank you, Autism. I'm coming to you guys at 2 a.m. in the morning because my autism is getting the better of me right now, and I want to explain this to you guys. So I have seen post after post after post on the 540 forums and on the 540 exclusive groups of people saying they're losing power at certain points when they're driving these V8s, these M62s. And I figured something out tonight, and it's been driving me insane, and I can't go to sleep until I get this out. Thank you, Autism. So these are your Vanoses, right? And what a lot of people don't understand about the M62B44's Non TU is that the way the Vanoses work is almost like VTEC in the Hondas. So essentially what happens is when you reach a certain power peak, the Vanoses kick in and they force oil to certain parts of the engine, the cams, the cams and the lifters, to help sustain that amount of power that you're trying to force through the engine. And one of the things that kind of clicked for me tonight is one of the big components that these Vanoses rely on is oil pressure. Okay, so when we started doing the breakdown, Chaos Customs and I looked into the manifold, and we realized in the intake manifold is a lot of excess oil. That excess oil gets into the manifold through the PCV. So when I drive this car really hard, when you drive the car really, really hard, you're utilizing the Vanoses often, which means you're utilizing the ability of high oil pressure. If you're losing oil pressure, because the system's pressurized and it's sending oil and it can't pressurize it properly, that pressure is going to send the oil to different places it's not supposed to go to, such as forced through a failed PCV, which is one of the issues that we've been having here, such as forced oil through seals that are ruptured or your valve cover seals that are ruptured. So instead of having high oil pressure that is sending where it's supposed to send to sustain the amount of performance you're trying to force through the car, instead what you get is a bunch of ruptured seals and failed systems and the low oil pressure because it's being able to pass through areas it's not supposed to. Therefore, your Vanoses don't feed the way they're supposed to. And in my particular case, I've noticed performance loss around the 3,600 RPM mark, especially in third gear. And then in fourth gear and third gear around the 44 to 4,600 RPM mark. So I wanted to come out here and share this with you guys so that anybody out there having these performance issues with the M62 can understand it is very possible that the reason you're lacking in performance is because you have ruptured seals in different places. The Vanos is not being able to perform because the oil pressure is not being sustained under high performance. If the seals are ruptured, you're going to send that pressure and oil to places it's not supposed to go rather than pressurized through the Vanoses to allow sustained performance. This has been driving me crazy. I finally was able to get it out so that I can share this with you guys. When we finish this top end rebuild and all of these seals are completely new, one of the things we're going to find out really, really quickly are my Vanoses failed? Have the seals inside of them been cooked and are my Vanoses failed? Or am I losing performance because the pressure cannot be sustained through the Vanos system under performance because seals all around the engine have failed? And I'll be really curious to find out as soon as we get all these seals redone and the top end put back together, whether or not the PCV being failed and the seals being failed is causing the performance loss because of lack of oil pressure. So hang around, y'all. We're going to get to the bottom of a few things. Now, on the back end of this video, I do want to say that there is another possibility. Losing performance capability in those particular areas at the 3600 mark and the 44 to 4600 RPM mark could also be because of my injectors. My injectors are definitely old, but I don't know for sure that they're cooked. The car still runs and performs, just not at peak performance. So it could be that the injectors are clogged and damaged and they're not able to deliver fuel the way that they're supposed to. It could also be in unison with the injectors. The fuel pump itself is not being able to perform because it needs to be replaced. And I do know for a fact that the fuel pump should probably be replaced because I've been having issues with my fuel gauge not reading correctly. But the fuel buoy, if you will, the flotation device that reads fuel level, not working doesn't necessarily mean the fuel pump itself isn't working. It just means that the flotation device that reads fuel level isn't working. So it could be that the fuel pump is trying to force fuel on those high performance passes through the injectors, and the fuel pump itself and the injectors are not working to the full potential that they're supposed to. So we have a couple of things that we need to run down as we do this rebuild, and it'll be very interesting to find out, are the Vanoses cooked, or were the seals not allowing high oil pressure to be sent through the Vanoses the way they're supposed to under high performance? Or is it the fuel pump and the fuel injectors that are not delivering fuel the way that they're supposed to under high performance? And or a combination thereof. Stick around, y'all. We are getting to the bottom of a lot of stuff, and I'm working very hard to fully understand, utilizing the gift of my autism, how these systems work together and how they work individually, so that we can really truly milk this M62B44 Non TU to its very maximum potential as it was built and designed by BMW. Hang around right here at BimmerBuilds Knox.